Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the CRL on this beautiful Thursday night. We are hot and ready in here to this game with the Boston Burgers, Paris Letdowns. We're in Silver Premade East. It is Wolfie and CK casting here tonight. CK, how are you doing?
Feeling good, excited for another week in the CRL, getting to see some, I believe it's silver action here first, and we'll have a bronze match later on tonight. We're going to see this vault hardpoint for the map number one. We're going to see which one of these teams kind of controls a little bit of time P1, but ultimately we're looking towards that first money hill over towards P2 in that hot tub little bodega area. But very excited to see what these two teams bring to the table. Looking to see maybe which players are standing out on each team, who our Slayers are, maybe who's getting a bunch of that hill time. But it's going to be a good night of Call of Duty. It's always a lot of fun getting to cast over the CRL, get to see these players get to compete a little bit in this sort of beer league Call of Duty style. But very excited, looking forward to it tonight. And that's kind of my take.
Yeah, no, I think it's great that we get to see Vault once again. Like you said right before this, as we were complaining that we saw Vaults. I think it's turning into the invasion of Black Ops 6 for us. So I don't think we're going to avoid it the whole year. So we'll just get used to it now. Paris Letdowns are starting off pretty hot here. About a 20-point lead so far. We got 20 points left on this P2 here, as we're going to start seeing rotations happen over towards this P3 area on that top middle side of the map that you see. But so far, it's been pretty even kind of here on the kill feed. I will say this time, it looks like we're going to have some accurate kill feed, accurate numbers there at the top. So I'm excited that we don't have to juggle around that today. But Paris Letdowns going to be, they're about tied going into P3 here, so it'll be interesting to see kind of how they work. They're spawning out on this P3 side, so we'll see if they can get that rotation towards P4.
Yeah, and P3 is kind of a weird hill. We'll probably see both these teams just trying to get maybe 5 seconds here, 10 seconds there, but ultimately it's all about this P4 rotation. So we see Max getting set up in that top art side. We see some other of his teammates hitting through mid, trying to get some players off time. You're just kind of just playing for as much time as you can here, but then ultimately you're trying to make through and break, much like Blueberry Taylor is here, and he might be able to find some good timing. He's going to go for some shots down, and he's going to get absolutely turned on by Juge there. But this Boston Burgers team, they're gonna have to try to fight through now and get towards that art side again to get that P4 rotation started. With only 15 seconds left here, that's really the key point of this next part of this rotation here. So we're gonna see some big fights come down towards the art column. That's Blueberry Taylor. He's gonna get picked off. That's gonna allow one of their players to possibly cross, but thankfully Simodine is there for those trades, and Paris Letdown is going to have some early control, but Boston Burgers are not far off this hill.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to be biased here in the CRL, but the Paris Letdowns have a special place in my heart here, as we were champions kind of the first time we played with this team. So I'm kind of rooting for Paris this time. But for a Vault so far, we're seeing this pretty close. Typically, this P4 is where we see games kind of start to break apart here, with teams just really easily able to hold the hill here. We see Paris Letdowns early in control here, still about 30-point difference here, but so far they're controlling the hill as Boston Burgers able to break in. Blueberry Taylor able to pick up 2, not able to pick up the last here, as we see some gunfights going down here. Royd Rabbit able to pick up the win, but unfortunately going to die there. But Paris with control here, kind of towards the scrap time. They should be pretty free here for the last 10 seconds as we're starting this rotation into the second set of hills here, as Boston Burgers are set up for P1.
That P4 hold was a little interesting. You know, we kind of saw all 4 players from the side of Paris Letdowns kind of just inside of the hill. There was nobody really playing top. We didn't see anybody on that full circle sketching the back. But ultimately, it played out in their favor. They got the majority of that early time, and they were able to pick up that scrap. They're going to have a nice little close to 40-point lead here going into the second rotation. And P1, I kind of mentioned at the very beginning of this map, is really just all about as much time as you can kind of get, but you're really looking to control that P2 side here. So we're seeing some of these Paris Letdowns players already coming through on this catwalk side of the map. We're seeing Boston do a really good job of kind of staying alive in the hill, but aren't really able to find any kills. And we're seeing some big shots come down. Blueberry Taylor's going to be flanked. He sees the player. This is going to get picked up by Royd Rabbit. Royd Rabbit's going to pick up the second one as well, and he's looking to secure that P2 over there, but he's going to get picked off in the back. And I think it's going to be Simodine here versus number 4. That's going to kind of be the big play to watch here, as he's making a wrap all the way through the back. That's Juge from the Boston Burger side, but these Paris Letdown players may have an idea that somebody's here. He's going to get one. He's going to get traded out immediately. But unfortunately for Paris, the Boston Burgers are still back there on that ammo side of the map. So they're still going to be kind of having some finicky spawns here. And we're just going to be looking to ultimately control it back and get this P2 time from the side of Paris Letdowns.
Yeah, you're gonna notice here in Black Ops 6, so the players are still kind of new uh, to this game, and even it's just different because it hasn't been like this in a long time. This game is very punishing if you are making the wrong plays, especially positioning wise. When you'll see spawn outs all the time, you need your anchor players, mainly AR players we see here in Call of Duty, to anchor those spawns. So you need to be in a specific place to just force the game mechanics to block a specific spawn of the other team. That is very crucial in this game. And so you're going to see that a lot where teams are fighting for back control, and you're going to see a lot of fights going on towards the backside, really off of hills, is where you kind of start seeing the important fights here. As we see Cheddar able to get a little bit of a beat off there on Rabbit. Excited to see that. It's a little whack this game, but we see it here as John Doe is able to pick up, or John Don, sorry, excuse me, able to pick up one in the back here as Boston's in a little bit of a control here. Haven't picked up the player vault there in race. I say that. There he goes. But we're back into this P3. Looks like Boston's going to be in control for a little bit with those proper spawns as well.
Yeah, and Sentinel's able to make a nice little play through. Baldo's going to pick off that player in time. He's looking for a player mid door. Is going to get gunned by Omax. Unfortunately, going to get team nated. But from the side of Boston, you've got the preferred spawn towards Art. You're just looking to get as much little scrap time here as you can. You know, being down 60 points isn't a great position to be, but if you can secure that P4 and get a full 60 on that hill, or even a solid 40 and 50, the game's going to come in a lot closer here. So they're doing a really good job keeping Paris off the sill while they can, trying to keep these spawns. But we're seeing number 2 and number 8 here. We see some shots go down from Omax and Simodyne. There's 2 Boston Burger players in the back here, so he's hunting. He's unfortunately going to get picked off, and it's going to be Boston Burgers inside of P4 first, but there is a player that's close by in the back, and we're going to see if they pick him up. He's kind of hitting the deep flank. He's hitting into time now, maybe. So he might be the only player from the Paris Letdowns able to make a play here. We see a big kill come down bottom Art as well. So these Boston Burgers are going to be spawning out now, and with this player close to time, he's going to be able to pick up 1 kill, get the time, but they're still looking for Juge in the top. So really solid break there from the side of Paris Letdowns. I really like the patience from that player in the back. He waited for his teammates to get just a little bit closer, allowed them to kind of get that control and ultimately break this hill. But we're still seeing Juge playing his life pretty well. The rest of the Boston Burgers are close by as well. Cheddar's the last one left in the hill. We're going to see a pretty mixy little split here with Juge fighting in time. Some more players close by. Ultimately, Boston Burgers are still spawning in the back, so without any real support, they should be able to pick up the most of the scrap time, and we're going to be looking at a 30-point game going into third rotation here.
Yeah, you know, from the P3 to P4, though, they picked up, what was that, about 20 points towards that disadvantage that they have on the side of Boston towards Paris. So about 40-point advantage for Paris here. No one in the hill just yet, but they're going to be looking to extend that here, especially as they get towards this. This will not be the third rotation of hard points that we see, but Boston, you see number 4 here behind, able to win a couple gunfights there. Simodyne last alive here with Paris, able to pick up 1. Is he able to pick up any more here? See mid doors, unfortunately going to fall to Juge, and we do see a little bit of a spawn flip there with Boston getting those preferred spawns towards that P2 side, and this is the crucial part of the game as we start to see teams get closer to that 200 mark. You know, nerves start to get a little bit higher here. You guys, you know, typically your team feels like you've got to get those spawns, and I believe we're going to see these spawns flip here as we see the side of Paris take ultra flanks there. Happening, and you know, just as I'm saying that, here are these spawns from Black Ops 6 that we see Boston Burgers just absolutely handed spawns for noob. We do see the side of Paris starting to make a wrap here, but Boston Burgers, this is a good hill to hold here. They're going to probably need about 40 seconds on this hill to really make this a game, as this game's looking to end on this P3 P4 side. Juge able to pick up a big kill with the Semtox there front side as well, and here comes the push from Paris as well.
Yeah, Paris, I mean, you can't let this get too out of hand here. Boston Burgers has got some decent control of this hill. There is a player in the back from the side of Paris. He's going to get a big kill with the rest of his teammates kind of collapsing around the front side of the hill. They're going to be able to break in. It's going to be left to Juge here all alone. He's going to get picked off, but we're going to see a team nade come down. So we're going to see a little bit of mixiness here. Paris is going to spawn in the back, but Boston is spawning close in that middle point. But we see a big 2-piece coming down from Sentinel. Some more trades coming down, and it's going to be 1 player left all alone on the side of Paris. He's going to win a big kill in the back, and that's going to allow his team to spawn there to secure this scrap time and push them towards that 220 mark as we're heading into this P3, P4 rotation. And I mean, if you're the side of Paris here, I think your sole objective is going to be, you got to get this player out of top art. You got to secure that P4 rotation, and you don't really care how much time they get on this P3 here. You know it's a mixy hill. You know it's not going to allow them to come through, but we're seeing number 8, Simodyne, already on the flank. He's going to get able to get this player top art, and he's going to have that secured more than likely for his team. I think that's going to spawn Boston out armor, or yep, they're on the ammo side of the map. So Paris, really good flank there by Simodine. He's able to get that kill top art, and that's going to secure them that P4 side there. So Boston here, you're in a pretty precarious spot because you can't just let them have free time on P3, but you also have to start working towards that P4 because it's a hard hill to break, and you do not want to allow Paris to have that early time there to get closer to that 250 mark.
Yeah, Paris can no longer win in on this hill due to the work that Boston's done so far. And, you know, Boston at this point, you need to get that team off the hill, but you do need to rotate towards that P4. If you don't get this team off the hill, it's an easy win for them P4. They're going to hop on here, get some of this time here. And if you're Royd Rabbit, you may think about trying to move up on the map here. You got 10 seconds to start going in. We're probably going to see a spawn out there from that last player just due to there being 10 seconds left on the old time. There's Simodine, dies and spawns up. Right on the players on old, but we do see Paris Letdowns in new time here with Don John. Last one kind of here. Is he going to be able to pick up any of these kills? He is not. We do see a fight come down from the front. It's going to get a little bit mixy here for a second, but the side of Paris Letdown are able to come out with the win. 10 for the win here. Royd Rabbit kind of making a last-ditch effort here, diving in, able to pick up one, looking for the others here on the hard point. Not going to see one. Almost gets the absolute world star on that player, but unfortunately going to lose that here. We just see some tests coming in kind of here towards the side, but Paris Letdown are going to come out on top, and it looks like they are going to win this first match. That's just a pretty good solid map from the side of Paris. You know, it's really about controlling P4 is what a lot of times we see, and that's still a pretty close game for Vault there, 250, 189. So, you know, good game out of both teams there. Map 1 is always the hardest to come out on. So if you're side of Boston Burgers here, we'll see how their S&D is for map number 2. And you really don't want to go down 0-2, especially here in this game with being so momentum based. If you're down in the dumps there, it's going to be a little rough as we see a great play of the game here from Roy.
Both these teams should have a very solid advantage. We may see a pretty back and forth map here, but Paris Letdown starting off on offense. Looks like they're going to be hitting towards the kitchen side, and there's 2 players from the side of Boston Burgers here to greet them from the barbecue. And we're going to see the first blood go to Juge and the side of the Boston Burgers, but we're seeing an immediate trade come down, some more shots going down, but these players are going to kind of evacuate that kitchen side. But I think we're going to see the big flank out of number 6 and number 7 here. We're seeing these players get pretty darn active. Juge is kind of just running around this bottom P2 side of the map, just kind of looking for either of these players to give it up. We haven't seen the bomb get picked up either, so they're kind of committing full to fighting this player. But all 6 of these players now here on the map. We're going to see Don John with a big 2-piece there. We're going to see Simodine able to get a trade, but Boston Burgers there with a really nice wrap to give their teammates support, and that was Juge. That was kind of just doing a really good job of playing his life there underneath that P2 plat. So really solid round from the side of the Boston Burgers there to take this map. There's round number 1.
Yeah, you know, that was probably one of the longest rounds of Skyline Search we'll see without a bomb being planted. You probably won't see that the rest of the time here, but you know, Skyline gets really confusing sometimes with the flanks being super easy to hit, with the map just being a little smaller. So it's really hard to keep track of kind of who's on what side, who's on attacking, who's on defending. But we do see the side of Boston able to win map or round number 1. Man, I almost did the same thing. And they are attacking, looking like they're gonna maybe hit towards A here with Juge being the bomb carrier, just kind of waiting back here. So we start to see some players getting pretty active here. Number 6 getting in the back spawn there. Don John able to open it up with an initial kill. Going to be immediately traded out by the side of Paris, but they are going to lose another player there and immediately another trade. As Simodine hits that flank, Nose Bomb is down, and this is going to be a 1v2 for Don John here. And I believe he has a submachine gun. They really have no idea where he's out, so they're going searching for him.
Yeah, and these Paris Letdowns are doing a really good job of hunting these players down. So as soon as we start talking about it, they're able to find Don John. Just an unfortunate scenario. You know, sometimes you're able to get lost pretty easily on this map, but also it just being such a small map, the engagements do come very quickly. So if your route gets picked up, whether that's just luck or kind of just thinking through maybe what route somebody can take, your position can go down pretty fast when you're left down here. One of the interesting things that I saw from that round is Boston played that attacking round a little bit slower, so they kind of spread out the map a little bit more. They waited for Paris to kind of give up some positioning. So we're going to kind of be curious to see if Paris continue this kind of fast-paced aggression, whereas Boston kind of plays a little bit slower, a little bit more methodical when it comes to S&D. So we're seeing a bridge hit here from one of these players. Cheddar's able to get a first kill, almost able to gun and turn around on Don John there for the second. But either way, We're going to be in a 3v3 here. Bomb still back towards that C dom area, looking towards maybe A, maybe top bridge. So Paris is kind of taking a little bit more time now, trying to figure out what their best method is. And we're seeing Omax get a little bit aggressive towards that backside of kitchen, but it looks like he backs up. And we're going to see Paris Letdown kind of chow into the kitchen side as well. But Royd Rabbit here could be the player to watch as we're seeing him kind of take this rotation, this flank back through around. Unfortunately, they're going to lose a player in kitchen, and it's going to be left into a 2v3 here. Royd Rabbit's able to get a kill in the back, and it's going to be Cinedyne left here in a 1v3.
Yeah, Cinedyne able to take some shots down here. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to win this round as he's going to follow with Boston Burgers, getting another win there on the board, taking this to a 2-1 round count so far in the Search and Destroy. And, you know, it's been kind of hard to dictate kind of what's going to happen on the Search and Destroy. That's just kind of what this map does. It can just be real weird sometimes. And you know, nothing against the silver players, but as you get into the higher ranks, you start to see a lot more strategy come out. Typically we see in a lot of like silver and bronze matches, they kind of just run at each other and fight, which has been interesting because we haven't seen that at all. So we'll continue on here with Boston. They're going to be attacking. Looks like they're going to be going towards this A site again. Maybe we'll see a bomb plant here. We are going to see some initial stuns going out. One player in Cheddar Bigham's going to get pretty active there. Is going to get traded out immediately. So we do see a 3v3. Here's this round.
Yeah, and we see another 2 kills go to the side of the Paris Letdowns, and it's going to be Juge left here in a 1v3. So that's kind of Skyline. You know, it looks like it's a little something's there, and then ultimately everything just starts to collapse down on you with a couple key gunfights. So really good aggression out of Cheddar Bigham's there. He's able to get that early kill and maybe get his information to his teammates that there's more players back towards that C-Dom. So some good aggression, even though he loses his life, it's still possible that he's getting some good information, some good intel for his team. But as we're moving over into this, we're seeing our map number 2 here tied up 2-2. Boston's back on defense, and they're going to be looking to defend both of these bomb sites and take a 3-2 lead in this map.
Yeah, you know, teams are tied up here. It's been an interesting search here. Just a reminder for all the people at home looking at the scoreboard on the top, that's going to be incorrect for the player stats. If you look down on their player card on the bottom right, those are going to be correct stats on players. As we see Boston Burgers with first blood once again here. We'll see what Paris Letdowns can do. They have pretty much full kitchen control. We haven't seen a bomb go down yet. Cinedyne able to pick up one on Juge. Going to even up the tally here with 3v3. Bomb was going down. Unfortunately, he's going to get spotted here. Cinedyne able to pick up one. Cheddar Bigham's able to win that fight on the bomb as well. And it looks like they're going to be hitting this wrap towards B as Roy Rabbit is making a flank on that A site. Unfortunately, going to kind of get there a little too late. So we'll kind of see how the round progresses here. But Roy Rabbit taking a fight immediately on Blueberry Taylor, hitting the 180, and unfortunately going to kind of fall there with Paris Letdowns able to take, I believe that's 2 or 3 in a row at this point to make this a 3-2 game.
Yeah, really interesting rounds that we're seeing kind of come out of here. Everything looks pretty even, you know, 1-for-1 trade for the most part, but then there's always one player that kind of gets a 2-piece, or we see 2 players from one team just go down pretty simultaneously. One of the big things that you keep mentioning is we haven't seen a bomb plant yet, and we're on round number 6. We've seen teams with the control of the A site just choosing not to plant that bomb, but to kind of try to force the aggression a little bit more and push out to the defending team side of the map. So it's been a curious thing to kind of pick up on, and we're kind of seeing a little bit of a bridge hit here. We're seeing Cinedyne able to get the big first blood there. He's kind of backing up for his life. You got to be curious if he knows that these rest of these players are here. Cheddar Bigham's watching the mid. He might have seen Omax cross there. Omax and Donjon are through the back now, but they're the last 2 players left in a 2v4 here. So we're seeing Cheddar Bigham's kind of on the hunt. We see Omax winning a big gunfight bridge. He may not have seen that player top plat, but he's getting flanked pretty fast here from a player all the way on the back plat of P2. So these players right here are kind of trapped. They're looking for an escape route. Sentinel's kind of waiting in the mix. Donjon's able to get the trade, but in a 1v2 here, Donjon again, he's going to be left alone. He's got to pick up that bomb. He's got to get it planted, and he's going to kill both of these 2 players. So some good intel there, able to see a player jumping off of the back platform. Bomb looks like it's down on top of bridge up there still, so he's kind of trying to make his way over there. He's going to get hunted out, but he wins a big gunfight there against Blueberry Taylor. Just absolutely just blasted him. He's going for this bomb now. There is a player on Piano Stairs. Might have seen him cross. He's waiting for him. He gets some shots down. Unfortunately, the other player's going to run away, so he's going to have this free bomb plan. He's going to get this bomb down, and we're going to kind of see how Donjon plays out the rest of this post plan.
Yeah, this could be a very interesting timing here from Cheddar as they're both going to go plat. We're going to see a gunfight coming down here, and that's just the most awkward gunfight there. His Cheddar is able to come out there and not allow for the lesser man advantage team to win there. So Paris Letdowns going to go 4-2 here with a big one-on-one clutch there from their captain there in Cheddar.
Yeah, that was a really interesting round there. Don John made a really good play. Unfortunately, just with not a lot of time left, that last player getting to spot him across bridge and just making a good play to kind of chow early on. He doesn't get much time off that bomb site. We see that little awkward dive and that little close engagement on the side plat there. But we're seeing Paris go back to their typical A hit here. Cheddar Bigham's getting super active. He's going to see Omax here, able to get that kill, looking for more. He's going to get traded out. And we're going to see Omax staying on this fireplace side. He's alone. The rest of the Paris Letdowns are there. He's going to get killed by Blueberry Taylor. And now they've got control of Kitchen again, but we're seeing that same exact push again. So they're choosing to forfeit A after the control's there, and they're looking to make their play through the back. And he may have slipped the net here. He's making his way into P2. He's looking around. He knows that there's a player close. Oh, he saw him jump Kitchen, and he's going to chase this player down. As Juge is able to get one of the kills, he's going to pick him off, and that's going to be Paris Letdown with another round win, up 5-2 on match point for this map number 2 here.
Yeah, I believe that's 4 rounds in a row here for the side of Paris. So we're going to need to see Boston do the old 5-2 curse here if they want to keep this a close series here. Otherwise, Paris is going to go up 2-0 in the series. They just need, quote, 1 more round. But we'll see what the side of Boston Burgers decide to do here. They've been attacking. Man, if you've never been to a CDL event in person, you would not understand that reference. But we are here in CRL. This is going to be a game point for the side of Paris. See if they can get something done here on defense. But Boston taking that bomb over towards that P1 into piano side, looking to probably go B here. They had all 4 players there. Cheddar Bigham's able to pick up a great 2-piece on the side of Paris Letdowns. Omax able to pick up another player. It's going to be a 2v2 now with Sentinel and Cheddar versus Omax and Juge.
Yeah, and we're seeing Omax wrap back towards this P2 side. They're putting the bomb down. There's going to be a player on the hop up, and wow, able to win both the gunfights there. One of the players was planting, but Paris Letdown with a pretty dominant showing there in that round number 8. They didn't waste too much time after they found out that player was back piano. We saw Cheddar and his teammate kind of just converge there, and I believe that was the ace for Cheddar Bigham's as well to win that map number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to this map number 3 in our Thursday match here on the CRO. We're loading into this protocol control. We're seeing some early kills go down towards P1. We're seeing Royd Rabbit making a nice play over towards that B side. He's able to pick up 1 kill, looking for a second, but unfortunately is going to get traded out. And we are going to see some weird things here. Being back on control, we're going to see the kill feed bug. So apologize in advance for any mistakes Wolfie and I may have here calling out players getting kills. But we'll work through it as we always do here in the CRL and with Black Ops 6 in these private lobbies. But we're seeing a really nice start here from the side of Boston Burgers. Already securing that 8 point, already half a tick gone towards that B side. But Paris Letdown is going to clean up those kills. They're looking to clear this tick off, and they're going to look to reset this map and make their way towards the Boston Burgers spawn here.
Yeah, I can't wait to try to figure out who's who. I believe Cheddar Bigham's is no one. I believe Blueberry Taylor is Simodine. And Sentinel, it seems to be Blueberry Taylor, so we may have figured it out here. Unfortunately, we're going to have no idea when we're actually calling out players, but the side of Boston Burgers, you're going to see 2 down, make that 3 down there on that point. Juge kind of be last alive here towards these armor steps. Going to be looking to make some sort of move. They were able to capture A pretty quick there. They're down 4 lives here. They got plenty of time to take this B side. We do see Cheddar Bigham's in here in this spiral, kind of this B, S, and D area, able to pick up, I believe, 1 kill before falling. And so he's just a great place there from the side of Boston. As Boston, we see our hopping time. We see no players kind of near time. We see a player on flank here with Simodine. A couple players converging on site here. We do see 1 kill coming down from the side of The mode. Oh my goodness, make that 3. Oh, it's the 4th. It's there. Okay, easy peasy from the side of Paris. We do see one tick coming down from the side of Boston, but they do have a reset here. Still down 5 lives, but they got 12. Plenty to work with.
Yeah, I mean, plenty of lives to work with here. We got a minute left on the clock, but we're seeing some good aggression here from the side of the Paris Letdowns. So we see some players pushed up mid, looking to make some of these players' lives a little bit more hectic off the spawn here. So some big kills coming down towards the armor side, towards the back of their spawn. Boston's able to get a little bit more map presence as they're trying to make their way through. But Paris in a pretty good spot here to keep them off this B point. It's going to take a couple big kills from the side of Boston to open up this map a little bit. We see Royd Rabbit trying to get active through their spawn. He's able to slip the net just a little bit, but he was getting shot at, so a player is going to know that someone's back on their grandma's side. But he may have just done a bamboozling of the century, able to slip the net again. He sees two players
1, 2.
bottom B. He's able to get both of them. There's going to be a player behind him from the side of Paris, and he's kind of shooting him in the back a little bit. He's going to chow the time, and he's going to get picked off. So Paris let down. Really solid start there. They gave up that A point really fast with some big kills that we saw come down early from the side of Boston Burgers, but they're able to kind of reset, regain a little bit, only allow one tick over towards that B side of the map, and they're looking to kind of make up that 4 tick disadvantage that they're at right now here on their first offensive side.
Yeah, on the side of Protocol, you know, from an offensive standpoint, if you can get B control and you can get a couple players down, it is very difficult from a defensive side to break B. You're having to get into a lot of line of sights that are open to multiple areas for the attacking team, and so it's pretty difficult to hold that. So good job on the side of Paris to be able to hold that for, you know, I believe like a minute and 45 seconds or something in that last round here, as the side of Boston Burgers are getting slightly aggressive towards the spawn here, able to pick up kind of the first kill here, able to control this A site. But we do see Paris, it's going to be 2 on time, 1 in grandma's, and they're kind of set up here to get this A cap pretty quick.
Yeah, and we're seeing some trades come down back and forth. I think the big thing here is we're seeing Sima dying and Don John going to have this fight window. Unfortunately, Don John is going to get picked off. He was kind of the player from the Boston side that may have been able to cause some havoc, but we're seeing this A capture point just fly up. We're seeing Boston kind of make their way over towards that B side already, but we're seeing a couple kills go down towards the side of Paris. That's 3 down. There's only Royd Rabbit left in their back spawn. All the other players are going to be off spawn at the front, and Royd Rabbit is going to be kind of the guy to play spoiler here. He's going to take a big jump. He's going to survive, but he's unfortunately going to get picked off by a player that was still on that B capture point. So really good position here from the side of Paris. Unfortunately, a couple of the players are going to get taken down, but with still enough map presence here that they're looking pretty solid. As I say that, you know, we're going to see a reset here pretty much, and both these teams are going to be fighting towards this boat side of the map again. So Paris, nice little solid aggression there. We see the life count kind of going in their favor currently. We're seeing some nice aggression from Cheddar, one of their sub players, as well from this P2 side. But we're seeing Boston get kind of active here. They're going to be able to pick off these kills before that second tick comes in.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking like Paris was pretty well set up there, able to get that. I thought they were going to close out the round there, but the side of Boston Burgers are able to make a push here, able to pick up kind of all 4 kills on that time. We see Royd Rabbit kind of making a menace for himself here in this BS and D site. And so it'll be interesting from the side of Boston here how they hold this. They are down quite a few lives. They have a bunch of time here to protect. Omax able to pick up the player off the time, able to keep that clock going, but you are running out of lives pretty quick here. If you're the side of Boston, that's going to be 1 more down, make that 2 more down, 6 lives. That's going to be 2 kind of off spawn. Royd Rabbit there last alive kind of towards that BSD. Omax able to pick up 1. Unfortunately, Royd Rabbit's going to fall. Omax going to pick up 1 before he falls. With Boston, no respawns remaining. They got 4 players left. Make that 3 with Paris Letdowns flying in here, looking to capture this point. But beside of Boston Burgers, they're putting up a fight here. So they keep seeing players dive on the point, and we see kind of one last player up top there, able to pick up a kill, but Paris is able to capture that tick, and that is going to make that a 2-0 advantage for the side of Paris heading into a defense.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a pretty clinical offensive round. We saw lots and lots of aggression towards this P2 plat here. Unfortunately, from the side of Boston, after you get that control, if you can't kill that player, It allows the rest of the team to kind of converge to that capture point. Then we saw some people just kind of having to throw their lives away to stop that progression, get in some gunfights. No one was able really to take any routes towards the offensive spawn, get any sort of spawn kills going. And I mean, when you're down that much in lives, you've got players spawn trapping you. It's a hard thing to break out of. But from the side of Boston here, you're down 0-2 in this control. You got to kind of step up now. This is kind of do or go home here. So we're seeing a big B hit here. Boston's able to get the first kill, but the rest of these players are all kind of just floating around. So Cheddar Bigum's got the big flank here. He's going to get one boat. He's looking for more. He's going to see Roy Rabbit. I don't know if he sees this player Green Fox, but he's going to get him as well. Playing his life really well here. He's chowing out. His teammates are there for the trade, and that B point is getting cleared off now. So really solid retake there from that straight B hit, but we're seeing Boston Burgers just flooding right back into the B hit again. So number 4 does a nice job of just kind of distracting everybody, forcing them to go over there. But unfortunately for the side of the Boston Burgers, with that A point still not captured, it's going to spawn those players up top and going to allow them to have some control over the middle of the map and be able to pick some of these players off the time.
Yeah, we see Don John here just kind of playing his life a little bit, just running around this boat here, trying to just buy some time for his team. But unfortunately, they are going to fall here. That's going to be 3 dead from the side of Boston. Another one dying off spawn there as well. Juge able to pick up 1 on the time. I believe he is like top armory side. Boston able to pick up another kill here, and they are down in lives. But they're looking to still try to hit this B site to get this control point dome. That's a great 2-piece from the side of the Boston Burgers here. They are on time. Tick is about half gone, and we see that tick go completely gone. Boston getting that B site secure. So we should see a transition quickly here over towards A. It looks like they're all going to take this rope side here. Does the side of Paris read this here? They haven't seen anybody come out backwards. So we see some fights coming down here in the middle. One player from the side of Paris able to pick up a great 2-piece on him. We see Royd Rabbit kind of last alive here. With the side of Paris able to clean up those other 2 players here. 13-21, heading in towards this A capture. This is going to be a tough one for the side of Boston.
Yeah, Boston's definitely not in the position you'd love to be right now, down in lives with that A point to capture. The A point, you know, it can be harder, but it can also be easier than B. I feel like both these control points of this map are kind of even. There's lots and lots of line of sights on A, and if you don't control the top side of one of these buildings, it allows your players on the hill to get kind of beamed from either side. So it'll be curious how they decide to play this. We see Roy Rabbit here kind of active in their grandma's side. We're seeing a big gunfight come down, lots of shots on that Sam turret there. But ultimately, Paris is going to come out on top again, another wave of kills down. And we're going to see Don John, the last player left here tower. He's going to get sniffed out, going to get picked off by Blueberry Taylor. And that's going to be Boston Burgers back in their spawn again, 4 lives remaining. And Paris is looking to put their foot down and push the spawn here. So we're seeing some big gunfights come down in the back, but when you're stuck in a 2v15, it makes it very difficult on the side of Boston. We're seeing a big fight come down armor, and that's going to be round number 3 to the side of the Paris Letdowns, and that's going to be the series win for our first series of the night. Pretty dominant showing from the side of Paris there. There were still some good things from the side of Boston. I think one thing you can think about still is control is relatively new.